Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Today I have a movie countdown to Christmas, and I have a lot of the physical DVDs, and the ones that I don't have, including the ones I have, I'm just going to link everything. So in case you miss what I say, just went online, I just typed in free blank Christmas advent calendar, and I printed this advent calendar. It just came numbered. I went ahead and made these little white pieces of paper that I cut out with the name of each movie, and I put a piece of tape behind it. I'm going to tell you guys about it, why I did that. But the first thing I did was I went ahead and marked the days. So December 1st is a Friday. That was important for me with planning out this movie countdown, because on Friday and Saturday nights we might watch 2 movies versus on the weekdays we might only watch 1. So I also want to mention that this is my idea of Christmas movies. Some of these movies aren't technically Christmas movies. They might have a Christmas scene in them, but to me they're my favorite. So I just want to say that. I put a piece of tape and I made this little white piece of paper on a blank piece of paper, because these are going to be moved around a bit. So this is what you're seeing in this video is a draft. I made a list of all them. First of all, I wrote down all of these movies that we love. And then I made a separate list that showed which ones were available on streaming services that I subscribe to. And then also went on my local library. And I know you can reserve books from your library too, but I figured during the month of Christmas, I wouldn't have a lot of success. Requesting DVDs that are Christmas DVDs. So, because sometimes my library will take up to 2 weeks to do that. So I just went based on my local library to see what they have. That's why I wanted to loosely put these with a piece of tape, because what I'm going to do is figure out what days I can get them from the library versus what movies I'll have on streaming, and then I'll mix them in with my physical DVDs. So that's why I wanted to do it with tape. That way they can move around. And also we might be going somewhere the month of December, traveling. So those movies that are on the dates that we travel are going to have to get moved, and some of these might get bumped. Let's get started. Okay, now, so these are not in exact order, like I mentioned to you guys, but technically this starts December 1st. I'm just using this Advent to show you guys for an idea and to also show you how the draft is planned. So I'm just going to start from the beginning. Okay, the first movie is You've Got Mail. It's not technically a Christmas movie, but it has a Christmas kind of ish theme in it with a holiday. It kind of goes through different holidays in the course of maybe a year or something like that. But it's one of my favorite movies, and it just gives me these Christmas fall vibes to it. But that's why I put it for December 1st. Okay. The second one is oh my gosh, me and my whole family, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is just so funny. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh, if you have not seen it, please rent it. It is hilarious. So that I just have on the calendar as 2, but like I told you guys, these are just very loosely, could be moved around. And I put a heart, if you're wondering, maybe not, but I put a heart by the ones that we own to remind us that we have those. I don't have to go searching for them. Number 3, A Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton. Okay, this one, a lot of people debate whether it's Halloween or Christmas. Apparently, I've noticed when I was researching this movie, but we like to watch it during the month of Christmas. So yeah, I included it. And so yeah, so The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then I have December 4th, While You Were Sleeping. I love this movie. And this one I do plan on buying in the future when I find it at thrift store. While You Were Sleeping is with Sandra Bullock and a lot of other amazing actors. Now, While You Were Sleeping has a Christmas scenes in it, and it's based kind of around Christmas, but it takes place after Christmas a little bit. Actually, no, before and after Christmas. But you could watch it all throughout the year. It's not purely a Christmas movie. That's one of those exceptions, but I like watching it every single year around Christmas. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a romantic comedy, and it's just a really warm movie about a family. So my next one is Serendipity with Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack. So this movie, again, is a romantic comedy. Now, this movie Like, you could also watch this movie year round. It's not like a Christmassy movie. It does take place like in the winter, and it has like Christmas themes kind of in it. But like, again, I like to watch it every year around Christmas time. And like, I really love John Cusack. He's one of my favorite actors. And basically, it like the title is, it's all about like really like serendipity, about like, yeah, and it's really interesting the way that they meet, and it's about like fate and things like that, and it's really cute. It's just, yeah. Okay, the next one is very Christmassy. It's Fred Claus. This one's like kind of new to us. I think we just discovered it like last year, and now we're definitely putting it in our yearly Christmas movie watch list. And basically it is about, the brother of Santa Claus. And it's what I really like about this movie is it goes into like their childhood, and it also shows like the other side to like, hypothetical Santa Claus, his brother Fred, and like how he would feel like, being Santa Claus's brother, because Santa Claus obviously is like the shining star. So I like that, and it's like Vince Vaughn's funny, and I like it. Okay, we all like it. So the next one I don't have physically, but I put a heart. I Am Santa Claus documentary. It has Mick Foley in it, the wrestler, and so it does not have to do with wrestling, but Mick Foley apparently loves Christmas. It talks about it in the documentary. He listens to Christmas movie he says in the movie he has listened to Christmas music year round, and so basically we bought the documentary. We own it. It's like on Amazon. It's on our Amazon list, I believe, but that we own it. Yeah, so I put a heart. But yeah, so it is about these men. I think it's like 3 or 4 Santa Clauses that it's like literally like them becoming Santa Claus for Christmas. Like not real Santa, but like, the Santas like in the malls or like that go to like Christmas parties. So it really is so interesting of just a documentary in general to show you all about how they learn to play Santa, and like, even like the cologne that they wear, and like, interacting with kids, and like all the different jobs that a Santa can have, which isn't just in a mall. I found it very interesting. They also go to like a convention thing. And so I just love documentaries, and it's like awesome to watch, of course, because it is becoming Santa Claus yeah. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite, and that's why we purchased it. But yeah, so the next is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I don't have that one either. This one is my favorite is the live one with Jim Carrey. I do love the animated one too, but we always like to watch the one with Jim Carrey. I think he's phenomenal as the Grinch. Okay, the next one is another documentary. I don't have it with me, but we're probably going to try to rent it, and that is Tree Man. And Tree Man is another documentary, and it's about this man from Canada who drives to New York and sells trees on the sidewalks in New York. And you get to see behind the scenes of someone who sells Christmas trees, and like the people that he interacts with on the streets, that some of them like have been buying trees from him for years. And it's so interesting to see that. Like I've never seen that in a documentary or a Christmas movie, like behind the scenes of the Christmas tree. So I highly recommend Tree Man. It's actually kind of hard to find. I'm definitely going to link it. But yeah, so okay, and that was I had on December 9th. So December 10th, I have Christmas with the Cranks, and on December 11th, we have The Holiday. So this came as a set, and Christmas with the Cranks is kind of silly. Like, it really is silly. Honestly, the first time I watched it, I didn't really like it, and then it grew on me. It's kind of one of those movies that kind of just like grew on us. And then The Holiday also like isn't like one of my number one Christmas movies, but I really like it. Holiday is just like a home exchange that Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz do with each other to like go on a holiday. And like Kate Winslet lives in England, and then Cameron Diaz lives in like, I believe, yeah, like LA. So they swap houses, and it's like a romantic It's like a romantic type movie. So yeah, but yeah. So that's our next one. Okay, and then the next one I don't have also, but it's Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. So this was another one that's kind of newer to me, but it quickly became one of our yearly Christmas movies that we like to watch. It's very funny where they go to like 4 different family members' houses for Christmas, and each house is totally different than the next. And I think that's what makes it interesting, like kind of like peeking into other people's lives, like the social dynamic of that. It's kind of really interesting to us. So the next one is, I have on the 13th, is Madea's Christmas. So I think I know it's like written, directed by Tyler Perry, but this one's like very silly, very funny. Madea is just a quirky character, and this one we've only seen once, but we're taking a chance to just add it again to our list and watch it again this year. And we liked it the first time, but I really just kind of forgot a lot of it because I've only seen it once, but I added it. Okay, so the next one I have the DVD. It's Ernest Saves Christmas. So I think this one's kind of like underrated. I don't see this one that much on lists when I Google like people's favorite Christmas movies and stuff like that. I don't see this one added as much. I really like it. I really like Ernest. When I was a kid, I really used to watch movies that Ernest was in and that he did, and the character Jim Varney's character. So it's pretty much about like Santa looking for like a replacement Santa Claus, and it's kind of that story. And then Ernest is just like a character that's kind of in the life of these two Santas, like the original Santa and then the Santa that he's looking for to replace him. He's just like kind of a goofy kind of side character, but yet, he's in every scene. There's this really funny scene where he goes to like a movie studio with snakes and he dresses up with different characters. He pretends he's like this snake handler. I don't know. I find it really goofy, but I really like it. Okay, now this is literally like top 5, if not top. I can't decide if this is my favorite Christmas movie. This one or Christmas Vacation are definitely my top 3, but Mixed Nuts. This is, the cast is really great. Steve Martin, Adam Sandler, Rita Wilson, Juliette Lewis. So this has so many interesting characters in it. Also, I find that it's not spoken about as much. I do see some people mention it occasionally when I look online and stuff like that, like on people's like Reddit list for like favorite Christmas movies. But typically it's not. I don't see it mentioned very much. But it is absolutely like one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's so quirky and odd, and I just love it. Like, I really do. And it's just hilarious. Like, I just adore it. Okay. The next one I don't have, but for the 16th, I have Charlie Brown and Arthur Christmas. So Charlie Brown, of course, Charlie Brown's Christmas. It's a classic. I'm going to try to rent it from the library and then watch it every year. I love Charlie Brown as a character. And then Arthur Christmas, but I saw the trailer for it and it looks very interesting. So sorry, I don't have that many words for that one, but I was like Googling Christmas movies and that one came up. And so Arthur Christmas, I'm going to link it for you guys. Okay. So the next one is another one that I kind of feel is underrated, meaning like I just don't, it's like not as popular, but I've never seen it. I haven't seen it mentioned as much, but it's Trapped in Paradise with Nicolas Cage, John Lovitz. I don't know if it's like, it sounds like I'm saying it wrong. I'm Lovitz, Lovitz maybe. Okay, and then Dana Carvey. So, this movie is so good. It is about these 3 brothers, and like one of them's like a kleptomaniac, and then they go to this small town in Paradise, Pennsylvania, where they want to pull off a heist. And they soon discover that their big city smarts are useless against unsuspecting, good-hearted townsfolk. So they go to this small town to like do a crime, but then all these things go wrong, and you could say go right, and it's like they kind of like have like a change in of heart or whatever you want to call it. Maybe not all of them, but Nicolas Cage is like pretty much the main protagonist. Well, all three of them, but it's, you know, it's just very interesting. It's like very interesting about these three guys. The next one is about a boy. Now, this one is one of those exceptions that's not technically a Christmas movie, but it has like a Christmas scene in it. Actually, more than one Christmas scene in it, like multiple years of Christmases. But it's with Hugh Grant, Toni Collette, Rachel Weisz, and it's based on a book by, gosh, I know his name and it's slipping me. It's based on the book by Nick Hornby or I can't. It's so, the font is so small. I'm sorry. I have like astigmatism and issues reading small font. I need my glasses. Okay. So I don't know if it's like Nick Hornby or Hornaby. I heard his name, but my brain's not saying the words. Okay, Nick Hornaby or Hornby, whatever. He wrote some other famous books that are pretty popular. But yeah, so he wrote the book, and then this is a movie based on the book. I haven't read the book, but I love the movie. It's basically kind of like a coming of age story about this boy. I forgot his name that plays the character, about this boy who. That's what it's based about, a boy. Maybe it's like Nicholas. Gosh, this font is crazy. So basically this boy, it's about him, and he becomes kind of like a friend with Hugh Grant, who's kind of like a man-child type character. He's like single, never had any kids. He's like a bachelor his whole life, pretty much. Like, and he basically comes into his life, and it's like this kid has to overcome a lot of stuff, like with bullying, and he's being raised by a single mother, which is Toni Collette. And then it has like all these different like layers of like really good storytelling and characters, and I love it. And I watch it every Christmas. Okay. The next one is, I got this whole set. It has like a bunch of different like stories, but I mainly got it for, on my calendar, The Year Without a Santa Claus, which is on December 19th. The Year Without a Santa Claus, I just love. You know, Santa decides to retire, and then Mrs. Claus has to try to like save the day. It also has like a bunch of other so this one does have Dr. Seuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas, so we're gonna watch that one too, but I didn't put it on the list because I think it's pretty short, because I already put, you know, the live action, you know, the live one with Jim Carrey. So yeah. Now the Santa Claus, Tim Allen. This one's another one. It's like top 5. It's so good. It is like him, you know, it's like, it's a story about him and like his son. And I don't want to give too much away. It doesn't really say much on the back, and it's just like really fun, and I like watching it. Now, I wasn't a fan of the sequels, but I didn't watch the third one. I watched like the second one. I wasn't like a fan of them. So I only watched the first one, but you might like, they do have other ones. Next one is December 21st, which is Love Actually. So Love Actually kind of like grew on me. I really didn't like it the first time I watched it. It's kind of like a romantic type film with different like stories in it. And yeah, so it's very popular, very, very, very popular. But yeah, so I have Love Actually on here. And then I have, of course, classics, Home Alone, and Home Alone 2. I have to say, I love each one almost equally. I mean, it's very hard for me to top a first one a lot of times, first film or first book even, and with the sequel. I think they did a very good job. So yeah, Home Alone, I can't say too much about these because almost everyone knows about these, but yeah, classics. And then 2 other classics are December 23rd, I have Elf with Will Ferrell, and then Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So I put these on, I put these on the same night. So I think that's a weekend. Let me see. So that's a Friday, yeah. So on a Friday, I put Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. And then on the Saturday, the 23rd, I put Elf and Rudolph together. And Elf is so funny. I love the set design in Elf, especially in the beginning at the North Pole. It's so like soothing to your eye. It's something about the colors, the cool colors that they use. And I love the way they filmed it. And it's just the Will Ferrell. I love the acting. I love Bob Newhart in it. James Caan, Zooey Deschanel, very well acted, and just a very interesting story about a literal elf, a literal Santa's elf. So yeah. And then, of course, Rudolph. This is like the one I used to play on TV when I was a kid. Love that one. Okay, so the next one is, so now we're down to Christmas Eve. So I literally saved, like, I said top 3 and top 5 so many times. But yeah, this is definitely one of my top movies of all time for Christmas. So the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, I saved A Christmas Story. And there is a second one. Now, I believe the second one is only on HBO. I may be wrong, you guys. But so I might subscribe to HBO because there's some, I think one of these other Christmas movies I don't have, the HBO has. But okay, so they did make a sequel, but I haven't watched it yet. So it's like takes place, of course, in the present where he grows up. So I really love A Christmas Story. This is why, the reason why A Christmas Story is one of my favorite movies, because it shows a very quiet Christmas between a small family, 2 brothers, a mom and a dad. They mention like an aunt, but it's not like a big Christmas celebration. I like the quietness in that because I have a very small family. Like I have one daughter. So it's mainly for Christmas, 99% of the time, it's just me, my husband, and my daughter. So I really like to see the variation in the small Christmas of just like one little family versus like some of the bigger, grander celebrations, like a Christmas vacation. There's like a lot of people, which is fun, but I can't relate to that. So I really like the quietness. And of course, it has some really interesting, weird scenes in it leading up to Christmas and like pretty much everyone. It's so nostalgic for everyone, right? So we're going to go ahead and attempt to watch part 2, but hopefully we'll like it. I'm not sure. So now I did not stop on Christmas Eve because I wanted to mention that on Christmas Day, I don't know about you guys, but I personally am done with Christmas on Christmas Day. I'm not talking about in the morning and in the day. But like as I get into the evening, my mind's going towards, okay, like New Year's. So, because we usually watch Christmas movies in the evening. So after my daughter's opened up her gifts, we've done stockings, we've ate Christmas lunch, all that stuff, and had dessert, do the Christmas thing, we kind of just start watching non-Christmas movies. So I found 2 movies that have to do with New Year's. So the first one is, one's Trading Places, and I put that one and When Harry Met Sally. Now, I have not seen Trading Places in years, but I read that there's like, I'm not sure if like holiday scenes in it, like New Year's or Christmas, but I'm going to go ahead and take a chance to try it on Christmas like evening, and then and/or When Harry Met Sally, which I own. Now, this one is definitely not only a New Year's film, but it has a New Year's scene in it. And if you've seen the movie, you know the scene I'm talking about. It's on like, it's at the end. But in general, it's just a romantic comedy, which I love. Love for you to subscribe, like if you're not already subscribed. It really helps support my channel. I make a lot of book videos. I also homeschool my daughter, but my channel is primarily books. So I also do movies sometimes. But yeah, have a good holiday season. Thanks so much. Bye.